Yo guys, welcome back. Today we're going to cover Frostwatcher, a gun that has snuck up in the meta for multiple reasons. It's a great stat stick for Hailey and Viessa, a multi-purpose gun in Lava Citadel, especially with Serena, and a top weapon choice for Gley right now. I'm not going to sit here and say yes, Frostwatcher is the meta weapon at the moment, but I would definitely put it in a meta weapon list right now, and a weapon you should be thinking about building. And since there is very little information about it, I figured we can do a video on it. So we'll cover builds for the Descendants mentioned and the various versions of their Frostwatcher builds. There isn't really a lot going on with the first Descendant right now, but after this video, you can expect an updated meta weapons guide, kind of a mid-season 3 version of that. And I'm still streaming live daily on Twitch, playing TFD, and during this downtime trying to dabble in other games. Appreciate the continued support from everyone. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So let's talk about Frostwatcher, a ultimate scout rifle with the inherent element being chill. Its unique ability is Sub-Zero Watcher, which can proc multiple effects. The first being Cold Surveillance, which reduces the target's chill resistance for 7 seconds when landing a critical hit at the distance of 12.5 meters or beyond. This has a 100% trigger rate, so one crit will proc it, and it does stack 3 times. A big thing here is, though, that the Frostwatcher has a very, very low base critical hit chance. Next, we have Sub-Zero Sensation, which will grant 32% chill skill power for 7 seconds when landing a weak point hit at the distance of 12.5 meters or beyond, but this does have a 30% trigger rate, so kind of works out because you could control hitting a weak point, unlike you can control getting a critical hit. The third is Chill Synchronization, which procs when defeating an enemy. This will ignore Hailey's movement speed penalty for 3 seconds. This will not be very useful for any of the builds in this guide. So let's get into the builds and any gameplay styles we may need to cover. So let's start out with Gley first, and this is going to be specifically for Wall Crasher. I will not be covering the Abyss setup, but the specific setup for this Frostwatcher does come from a friend, fellow content creator, YouTuber, and Twitch streamer. His name is Seven, and he also speedruns on Gley, probably the best Gley in the game. So he does use this in the Abyss for Lava Citadel and does very, very well. He's a very good player, only beat out here by a well-known cheater. So big shout out to Seven for the Frostwatcher build for Gley. Normally I would start out with a Descendant build, but here we're going to start out with the Frostwatcher build. For your cores, you're going to want double fire rate, firearm attack, and chill attack. And then for your substats, weak point damage, chill attack, multi-hit chance, and multi-hit damage. And do not worry about rolling these specifically for Gley, because this is going to be a all-around setup basically for the gun besides using it on Hailey. Now, getting into our module setup for Gley, we will be using Sharp Precision Shot. We have 2 weak point mods, 2 firearm attack mods, 2 chill element mods, fire rate mod, and then 2 multi-hit mods being multi-percussion sight and multi-piercing trigger. Now let's get into our Gley build, and pretty basic Gley build here. Fortunately, Gley doesn't really take advantage of any trigger mod. We are using Massive Sanctification, but it's not even necessary. Just a good way to drain your health if you're looking to do something like that. Then we are using our 4 cooldown mods, our 2 duration mods, shot focus, 2 HP mods, 1 being Battle of Stamina for the added duration, and then walk a tightrope. Now for your reactor, the only thing you're worried about here is going to be your cooldown and your duration up. We're not using any skill power damage in this build. And then for our component set, we're going to go with the 2-piece ballistic for the top 2. You don't have to worry about MP with Gley because she does not use MP. Please remember that. We're taking advantage of the 2 set bonus here for the weak point damage, and then the Shell Crusher 2-piece for the fire rate. For our arcade tuning, we're going to be building into multi-hit, and we're also going to be building into firearm attack. Unfortunately, there is not a mutant cell here that benefits Gley. If you were doing Abyss solo, you would then want to build over into skill power to be able to get defense neutralization here. But for this setup in Wall Crasher, we can already assume that probably a Serena or a Nell or somebody else already has defense neutralization on, so we're just going to build strictly into firearm attack with this. For our inversion reinforcement, we're going to want our chill focus rounds, our strike point amplification for when landing a multi-hit, grants weak point damage, and then firearm control mechanism for the multi-hit damage procs that we can get. Now, this is a bit of an update to our Serena Abyss build, taking advantage of Frostwatcher. We are taking advantage of two things here. We're going to be snapshotting these two ultimate mods, Ultra Precision Strike and Multi-Hit Induction. I would say this is a bug, but this has been in the game so long now, snapshotting ultimate mods from one weapon to another, that I'm just going to call it a feature. So we're taking advantage of that, and then we're also hoping that we crit to strip the chill resistance here off of Frostwatcher. So that is our main goal, and I'm going to go over how this all works. You are going to get up in the air, you're going to use your 4, take your wings out, you're going to use your entire clip of Frostwatcher, swap to last dagger, shoot, then dash, and then damage. When this clip is empty, we will switch back to Frostwatcher, shoot our entire clip, go to our second dagger, shoot, then dash, and then damage. And after that, it's just rinse and repeat. Make sure you proc your 4 again. So let's go over the Frostwatcher setup real quick. It's going to be the same cores and substats that we just used on Gley, but the module change is going to be different, which I already did flash on the screen. We're using Ultra Precision Strike and Multi-Hit Induction. What happens here is when you shoot the enemy and then swap to your dagger, these are going to stay up for your dagger, so you're going to get the bonuses to your last dagger on top of the other 2 ultimate mods that you're running on the dagger. For the rest of our mods, we are running Weak Point, 2 Firearm Attack mods, 2 Chill mods, a Fire Rate mod, and then a multi-piercing sight. Now, for our last daggers, same setup we were running, double Fire Rate, Firearm Attack, and Chill for our cores, and then your multi-hit damage, Firearm Critical Hit Rate, Weak Point damage, Firearm Critical Hit damage for your substats, and it's going to be the same exact setup on both of these and the same exact mods on both of these. Please listen carefully if you are trying to figure this out. So we are using Firing Fiesta and Tenacious Hunter, but in this last dagger, we do not have them fully upgraded. We have them 1 level away from being fully upgraded. On our other last dagger, we are using them fully upgraded. What this does is puts them on separate cooldowns, basically. Basically, you can look at these as being completely different mods from one another. Another bug, I would say, but has been in the game so long, we're just going to call it a feature. Let's get into our Serena build. Not much has changed here from the last build. I am now using shot focus over strong mentality. That is up to you. If you don't think you're getting the kill quick enough, or if you're not going for speed runs, I would still put strong mentality over shot focus for comfort, and our trigger mod is going to be Arcade Leak. For our reactor, cooldown duration up. Then we have our 2-piece ascending set. Make sure you have your MP substats on these and your HP cores. And it's very important to have these in the exact same positions that I do. As you can see from the max HP in white, we want to take advantage and get as much HP as we can. And we're at 37,940. For our arcade tuning, not much has changed from the last setup. We are building into our multi-hit capstone over here with enhanced double strike. And then for our mutant cell, we're using defense neutralization. Now, going into our inversion reinforcement, we have our chill focus rounds on, strike point amplification, and firearm control mechanism. And for our fellow, we are using the ammo fellow. Now we're going to cover Hailey, but I do not suggest taking Hailey in Void Abyss Lava Citadel. It's going to be more painful than you really need to go through. Unfortunately, I love Hailey, and I would love to play Hailey, but I just don't suggest it, so be advised on that. But I did want to go over the build setup for her with Frostwatcher, because it's right up there with Perforator now, and just her overall build for Zenith. So let's start out with the Frostwatcher. We're going to make sure we want to get 12% rounds per magazine on our Frostwatcher. So roll that before you lock anything in so you do not waste your Legos. Then when you lock that in, you're going to want to go weak point damage, firearm critical hit damage, and chill attack. Now for a mod setup, we are doing a payout setup with this. We want to get as many shots of Zenith as possible. That is our main goal. We're using 1 chill mod, then our 2 mag mods with expand weapon charge and weapon tuning. Then we have 2 crit mods, better insight, better concentration, have aiming, weak point sight, and our 2 firearm mods with action and reaction and rifling reinforcement. So let's go over Hailey and her module setup. This is going to be a Zenith cooldown build. So what we're looking for here is to get Zenith back as fast as possible after we use it. We're not doing a full-on damage build here. I will pull that up on the screen though quickly for you guys before we leave this page. Power Beyond is going to be our trigger module. We are using hyper focus, and we're able to take advantage of this because we are shooting the boss before we go into Zenith with our Frost Watcher to proc the chill resistance on the boss. We will go over that once I'm done covering the entire build. So 2 focus mods, 2 cooldown mods with MP conversion and nimble fingers. Then of course our 4 critical hit mods for a critical hit Descendant, and 1 HP mod for some survivability. Now, if you are just blasting ass here and you don't care about cooldown, basically you're one phasing something, this is going to be the setup you go to, and we've just dropped cooldown and built into as much damage as possible. So for Hailey's reactor, it's always going to be Colossus damage, critical hit damage with your chill singular reactor. And then for our set, unfortunately, her best set is still going to be the Slayer set. We have not seen a good chill set for her. The thing with the Slayer set, though, is going to lower your survivability a ton. You're going to want your HP cores here, your defense cores, and then, of course, your MP substats and all your pieces, because she does eat up a lot of MP with Cold Fury. As far as our arcade tuning, we are going in a ton of different directions here. We're getting this Colossus damage. We are using the Mutant Cell Chill Chain Catalyst. Then we are leaving the skill power section as we do take some critical hit rate and critical hit damage. And the main goal here is to get over to defense neutralization, our other trigger mod. Now for her inversion reinforcement, we are going with chill focus rounds. This does not proc with Zenith shots, but we are shooting the boss previous to actually going into Zenith. So we are able to take advantage of this. Selective cellular stimulation for some MP gain back, and then pain suppression for some survivability, because she is a sitting duck when she is in her abilities. How's this gonna look? We're gonna put our Cold Fury up when we spawn in on the boss. We do need to make sure we are a decent distance here to proc the chill resistance strip on the boss. The thing is we can take advantage of the skill power by hitting a weak point, but it does not transfer to your Zenith. And when you hit a weak point, you proc payout and you lose shots for Zenith. So you want to shoot and get some crits and then go into your Zenith and now hit your weak point for your payout. And as you can see here, we get a ton of shots when you combine all the mag plus payout. And then when this is over, you're going to use her too and hopefully crit and hit a very, very large number like that. So let's go over our Viessa with our Frost Watcher. Although Clairvoyance, I think, still slightly edges out Frost Watcher in solo, Frost Watcher is still a very good option here for the shred of the chill resist, plus the chill skill power that you get, but it takes a little more finessing because you do have to get a distance from the boss, shoot the weak point, crit, get back in, use your powers and so on. But in group play, if you already know somebody else is using Clairvoyance, this is going to be your best option for our Frost Watcher. It's going to be the same setup that we've seen here with the cores and the substats for Gley and Serena. Now our modules here are a little different, and I do not have a complete build. I would need to do some more catalyzing on this, but we have what's important here, and that's trying to boost our critical hit rate as high as possible so we can proc the unique ability by critting, and we need to do that as fast as possible so we can get back in and get back into the fight. Other than that, we have some mag here, so we don't have to reload as much, and the fire rate mod is going to be very, very important because we want to get as many shots out as fast as possible. So let's go over the actual Viessa build for this, and I did make a mental mistake in the original video for Viessa farming the Abyss boss. We will be correcting that in our arcade tuning. We did overcap on critical hit rate. That is my fault. Now this is an absolute zero build. We are using Power Beyond for our trigger module. Then we are using our 4 cooldown mods, our 4 critical hit rate, critical hit damage mods, 1 mod for skill extension for duration. This is going to give us above 100% uptime on our Blizzard. It's fantastic. And then we have 5 hyper focus. So we're shooting Frost Watcher to begin the fight and then throughout the fight. So we're able to keep this up pretty easily. Then for our reactor, we have cooldown and Colossus. Cooldown is going to be very important here. This is a very spam skill build. Make sure you have chill singular, of course. And then we are going with Slayer set. Make sure you have your max HP cores, your defense cores, and your MP substats on all your pieces. It's very, very important. Viessa eats up MP like crazy. Now for our arcade tuning, This is where we're fixing the critical hit rate mistake that I made. We do not need to take critical hit rate here. It will overcap us. So we're going to come down towards the skill cost, come up then towards the Colossus attack. Then we're able to take the enhanced skill power node here, and we're still coming for cooldown node, and we're able to get 2 critical hit damage, but we're able to make up for that with our mutant cell being RK concentration, which is going to give us the 3 stacks of skill critical hit damage. Now, for our inversion reinforcement, we're taking RK circulation tactic. This is great for skill spamming. We're using chill focus rounds to keep up enhanced focus rounds, which we're able to do with our Frost Watcher. And then a must here, please do not skip over this. Selective North Stimulation. You will need this to get your MP back. So let's just go over quickly what the loop would look like here. Make sure you proc your 2 on your way into the boss. Shoot the weak point. Hopefully you crit. Come in, cast your Blizzard. Do a little bit of skill spamming here. And then by the time you're ready for the next Blizzard, back up, grab that weak point again. Hope you crit. Come back in and rinse and repeat. And that covers everything for the Frost Watcher builds. Any questions or suggestions about the builds, let me know in the comments or stop by Twitch chat. I'm live daily. Like and subscribe is appreciated. Thanks, guys. Peace.